Hello, Shalom. Welcome to day 41 of the Daily Bread. We'll be reading in Exodus chapter 2, 1 Samuel chapter 2, Psalms 49, Proverbs 10, and Mark 10. Okay, we'll be in the scriptures, 2009 version. Exodus chapter 2 on page 57. And a man of the house of Levi went and married a daughter of a Levi. And the woman conceived and bore a son. And she saw that he was a lovely child, and she hid him 3 months. And when she could hide him no longer, she took an ark of wicker for him, and coated it with tar and pitch, and put the child in it, and laid it in the reeds by the edge of the river. And his sister stood at a distance to know what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river. And her young women were walking by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the reeds, she sent her female servant to get it, and opened it, and saw the child, and see, the baby wept. So she had compassion on him, and said, "This is one of the children of the Hebrews." And his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call a nurse for you from the Hebrew woman to nurse the child for you?" And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." And the young woman, some have it maiden, went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child away and nurse him for me, and then I shall pay your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him. And the child grew, and she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moshe, saying, "Because I have drawn him out of the water." In those days it came to be, when Moshe was grown, that he went out to his brothers and looked at their burdens, and saw a Mitzrayite striking a Hebrew, one of his brothers. So he turned this way and that way, and when he saw no one, he struck the Mitzrayite and hid him in the sand. And he went out the second day and saw two Hebrew men fighting, and said to one who did the wrong, "Why do you strike your neighbor?" And he said, "Who made you head and judge over us? Do you intend to kill me as you killed the Mitzrayite?" And Moshe feared and said, "Truly the matter is known." And Pharaoh heard of this matter and sought to kill Moshe. But Moshe fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by the well. And the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water, and they filled the troughs to water their father's flock. But the shepherds came and drove them away. Then Moshe stood up and came to their rescue and watered their flock. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, "How is it that you have come so soon today?" And they said, "A Mitzrayite rescued us from the hand of the shepherds, and he also drew enough water for us and watered the flock." And he said to his daughters, "And where is he? Why did you leave the man? Call him and let him eat bread." And Moshe agreed to dwell with the man, and he gave Shephanar, his daughter, to Moshe, and she bore him a son, and he called him Gershom. For he said, "I have come to become a sojourner in a foreign land." And it came to be after these many days that the sovereign of Mitzrayim died, and the children of Israel groaned because of the slavery, and they cried out. And their cry came up to their Elohim because of the slavery. And Elohim heard the groaning, and Elohim remembered his covenant with Abraham and Isaac and with Jacob. And Elohim looked on the children of Israel, and Elohim knew. 2 Samuel, on page 281. And Hannah prayed and said, "My heart rejoices in you, in Yahweh. My horn has been high in Yahweh. My mouth is open wide over my enemies. For I have rejoiced in your deliverance. There is no one set apart like Yahweh, for there is no one besides you, and there is no rock like Elohim. Do not multiply words so proudly. Let no arrogance come from your mouth. For Yahweh is an El of knowledge, and by him deeds are weighed. Bows of the mighty are broken, and those who stumble shall be girded with strength. The satisfied have hired themselves out of bread, and the hungry have ceased. Even the barren have borne 7, and she has many children, and she who has many children pines away. Yeshua makes poor and makes rich. He brings low and lifts up. He raises the poor from the dust. He lifts the needy from the dunghill to sit with princes, to make them inherit a throne of esteem, glory. For the supports of the earth belong to Yahweh, and he has set the world upon them. He guards the feet of his loving, committed ones, but the wrong are silent in darkness. For man does not become mighty by power. Those who oppose Yahweh are shattered from the heavens. He thunders against them. Yahweh judges the ends of the earth, and gives strength to his sovereign, and exalts the horn of his anointed. And Elon went to his house at Ramon, but the youth served Yeshua before Eli the priest. And the sons of Eli were sons of Baliah. They did not know Yahweh. And the ruling of the priests with the people was that when any man slaughtered a slaughtering, the priest's servant shall come with a 3-pronged flesh hook in his hand while the meat was cooking. And he shall strike it into the basin, or kettle, or cauldron, or pot, and the priest would take for himself all that the flesh hook brought up. Thus they did in Shiloh to Israel who came there. To all Israel who came there. Also, before they burned the fat, the priest's servant would come and say to the man who slaughtered, "Give meat for roasting to the priest, for he does not accept cooked meat from you, but raw." And if the man said to him, "Let the fat be burned up first, then take as much as your being desires," he would then answer him, "No, but give it to me now, and if not, I shall take it by strength." And the sin of the young men was very great before Yahweh, for the men despised the offering of Yahweh. But Samuel was attending before Yahweh, a youth, wearing a linen shoulder garment. And his mother would make him a little robe, and bring it to him year by year, when she came up with her husband to slaughter the yearly slaughtering. And Eli blessed Elon and his wife, and said, "Yahweh give you offspring from this woman, for the one she prayed for and gave to Yahweh." Then they would go to their own home, and Yahweh visited Hannah. So she conceived and bore 3 sons and 2 daughters, while the young Samuel grew before Yahweh. And Eli was very old, and had heard all that his sons were doing to all Israel, and how they lay with the women who were assembling at the door of the tent of appointment. And he said to them, Why do you do deeds like these? For I hear of all your evil deeds from all the people. Know, my sons, for it is not good report that I hear, making the people of Yahweh transgress. If one man sins against another, Elohim shall judge him. But if a man sins against Yahweh, who shall pray for him? But they did not listen to the voice of their father, though Yahweh was pleased to put them to death. And the young Samuel was growing in stature, and was in favor of Yahweh, and also with men. And a man of Elohim came to Eli and said to him, Thus said Yahweh, Did I not clearly reveal myself to the house of your father when they were in Mizraim in Pharaoh's house, even to choose him out of all the tribes of Israel, to be my priest, to offer upon my slaughter place to burn incense, and to wear a shoulder garment before me? And did I not give to the house of your father all the offerings of the children of Israel made by fire? Why do you kick at my slaughterings and my offerings which I have commanded in my dwelling place, and esteem glory your sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the best of the offerings of Israel, my people? Therefore Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, declares, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father would walk before me forever. But now Yahweh declares, Far be it from me, for those who highly esteem glory me, I highly esteem glorify. And those who despise me are highly esteemed. See, the days are coming that I shall cut off your arm and the arm of your father's house, so that an old man shall not be found in your house, and shall see an enemy in my dwelling place, despite all the good which Elohim does for Israel. And there shall not be an old man in your house forever. But any of your men whom I do not cut off from my slaughter place is to consume your eyes and grieve your life, and all the increase of your house die as men. And this is the sign to you that comes upon your 2 sons, upon Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they are going to die, both of them. And I shall rise up for myself a trustworthy priest, who does according to what is in my heart and in my being. And I shall build him a steadfast house, and he shall walk before my anointed forever. And it shall be that everyone who is left in your house shall come and bow down to him for a piece of silver and a cake of bread, and say, Please put me in one of the priestly positions to eat of a piece of bread. End of 1 Samuel chapter 2. Psalms 49, found on page 673. Hear this, all you peoples. Give ear, all you inhabitants of the world. Both sons of mankind and sons of men, rich and poor together. My mouth speaks wisdom, and the meditations of my heart brings understanding. I incline my ear to a parable. I expound my riddle on the lyre. Why should I fear in the days of evil, when the crookedness of my supplanters surround me, those who are trusting in their riches, and who are boasting in their great wealth? A brother does not redeem anyone at all, neither give neither give to Elohim a ransom for him. For the redemption of their lives is costly, and it shall cease forever, that he should still live forever, and not see the pit. For he sees wise men died, the foolish and the ignorant both perish, and they shall leave their wealth to others. Their inner thoughts are their houses forever, their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, but man does not remain in esteem. He is like the beasts that perish. This way of theirs is folly to them, yet their followers are pleased with their words. Salah. Like sheep they shall be laid in Sheol. Death shall shepherd them, and the upright rule over them in the morning. And their form is consumed in Sheol, far from their dwelling. But Elohim does redeem my being from the power of Sheol, for he does receive me. Salah. Do not be afraid when a man becomes rich, when the wealth of his house increases. For when he dies, he takes none of it with him. His wealth does not go down after him. Though while he lived, he blessed himself. And though they praise you when you do well for yourself, he has to go to the generation of his fathers. They never see the light. Man who is rich, yet does not understand, shall be like the beast. They shall perish. Proverbs 10 on page 737. Proverbs of Solomon, a wise son makes the father rejoice, but a foolish son is his mother's sorrow. Treasures of wrongness are of no value, but righteousness delivers from death. Yahweh does not let the being of the righteous go hungry, but he thrusts away the desire of the wrong. Poor is he who works with a lazy hand, but the hand of the hard worker makes rich. He who gathers in summer is a wise son. He who sleeps in the harvest is a son who causes shame. Blessings on the head are on the head of the righteous, but violence covers the mouth of the wrong. The remembrance of the righteous is blessed, but the name of the wrong ones rot. The wise in heart accepts commands, but one with foolish lips falls. He who walks in integrity walks safely, but he who perverts his ways becomes known. He who winks with an eye causes sorrow, and the one with foolish lips falls. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but violence covers the mouth of the wrong. Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all transgressions. Wisdom is found on the lips of him who has understanding, but a rod is for the back of him who lacks heart. The wise treasure up knowledge, but the mouth of a fool is near ruin. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The ruin of the poor is their poverty. The wage of the righteous is for life. The increase of the wrong is for sin. He who heeds discipline is in the way of life, but he who refuses reproof goes astray. He who hides hatred has lying lips, and he who sends out a slander is a fool. Repeating verse 18. And he who hides hatred has lying lips, and he who sends out a slander is a fool. When words are many, transgression is not absent, but he who restrains his lips is wise. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. The heart of the wrong is of little value. The lips of the righteous shepherd many, but fools die for lack of heart. The blessing of Yahweh makes one rich, and he adds no pain with it. To work out wicked schemes is like sport to a fool, but wisdom is for a man of understanding. What the wrong one fears comes upon him, but the desire of the righteous is granted. As the whirlwind passes by, the wrong one is no more, but the righteous has an everlasting foundation. As vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so is the lazy one to those who send him. The fear of Yahweh prolongs days, but the years of the wrong ones are shortened. The righteous look forward to joy, but the expectancy of the wrong ones perish. The way of Yahweh is a stronghold for the perfect, but ruin to the workers of wickedness. The righteous is never shaken, while the wrong shall not dwell in the earth. The mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the tongue of perverseness is cut out. The lips of the righteous knows what is pleasing, but the mouth of the wrong speaks perversities. On to Mark 10, found on page 969. And rising up from where he, Yeshua, came into the borders of Judea, by the other side of the Jordan, and crowds gathered to him again, and as he usually did, he was preaching them again. And Pharisees came and asked him, "Is it right for a man to put away his wife?" Trying him they are. And he answering said to them, "What did Moshe command you?" And they said, "Moshe allowed a man to write a certificate of divorce," Deuteronomy 24, 1 and 3, "and to put her away." And Yeshua said to them, "Because of the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this command. However, from the beginning of the creation, Elohim made them male and female." Genesis 1:27, 5 and 2. "For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." Genesis 2, verse 24. "So that they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what Elohim has joined together, let no man separate." And then in the house of his taught ones asked him about this again, and he said to them, "Whoever puts away his wife and marries another commits adultery against her. And if a woman puts away her husband and marries another, she commits adultery." And they were bringing little children for him to touch them, but the taught ones were rebuking those who were bringing them. And when Yeshua saw it, he was much displeased and said to them, "Let the little children come to me, and do not forbid them, for such is the reign of Elohim. Truly I say to you, whoever does not receive the reign of Elohim as a little child shall certainly not enter into it." And taking him up into his arms, laying his hands on him, he blessed him. And as he was setting out on the way, one came running and knelt before him, asking him, "Good teacher, what shall I do to inherit everlasting life?" And Yeshua said to him, "Why do you call me good? No one is good except one, Elohim. You know the commands. Do not commit adultery. Do not murder. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Do not rob. Do Respect your father and your mother. And he answering said to him, Teacher, all these I have watched over from my youth. And Yeshua said, looking at him, loved him, and said to him, One matter you lack. Go sell all your possessions and give to the poor, and you shall have treasure in heaven. And come, follow me, taking up the stake. But he, being sad at this word, went away grieved, for he had many possessions. And Yeshua, looking around, said to his taught ones, How hard is it for those who have money to enter into the reign of Elohim? And the taught ones were astonished at his words. And Yeshua, responding, said to them again, Children, how hard is it for those who trust in riches to enter into the reign of Elohim? It is easier for a camel to enter through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the reign of Elohim. And they were immensely astonished, saying among themselves, Who then is able to be saved? And looking at them, Yeshua said, With men it is impossible, but not with Elohim. For with Elohim all is possible. And Kepha, Simon Peter, began to say to him, See, we left all, and we have followed you. And Yeshua said, Truly, I say to you, there is no one who has left house or brothers or sisters or fathers or mother or wife or children or lands for the sake of me and the good news, who shall not receive 100-fold now in this time houses and brothers and sisters and mothers and children and lands, and with the persecutions, and in the age to come everlasting life. But many who are first shall be last, and the last first. And they said on the way going up to Jerusalem, and Yeshua was going before them, and they were astonished, and those who followed were afraid. And again he took the 12 aside and began to say to them what was about to befall him. See, we are going to Jerusalem, and the son of Adam shall be delivered to the chief priests and to the scribes, and they shall condemn him to death, and shall deliver him to the nations. And they shall mock him, and flog him, and spit on him, and kill him. And the third day he shall rise again. And Jacob and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to him, saying, Teacher, we wish that you would do for us whatever we ask. And he said to them, What do you wish me to do for you? And they said to him, Grant us to be seated in your esteem, one on your right hand and the other on your left. But Yeshua said to them, Why do not know? You do not know what you ask. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, and be immersed with the immersion that I am immersed with? And they said to him, We are able. And Yeshua said to them, You shall indeed drink the cup that I drink, and with the immersion I am immersed with, you shall be immersed. But to sit at my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared. And when the 10 heard it, they began to be sorely displeased with Jacob and John. And Yeshua, calling them near, said to them, You know that those who think to rule the nations are masters over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But it is not so among you. But whoever wishes to become great among you shall be your servant. And whoever wishes to be first among you shall be servant of all. For even the Son of Adam did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. And he came to Jericho, and as he was leaving Jericho with his taught ones, and a large crowd, blind Bartholomew, the son of Timon, was sitting by the way begging. And when he heard that it was Yeshua of Nazareth, he began to cry out and to say, Yeshua, son of David, have compassion on me. And many were reprimanding him to be silent, but he cried out all the more, Son of David, have compassion on me. And Yeshua stopped and said, call him. And he called the blind man, saying to him, take courage, arise, he is calling you. And he, throwing aside his garment, arose and came to Yeshua. And Yeshua, responding, said to him, what do you desire I do for you? And the blind man said to him, Rabbi, that I receive my sight. And Yeshua said to him, go, your belief has healed you. And immediately he saw again and followed Yeshua on the way. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible and talk to the Father.